The lights flash behind you and your chest gets tight. Your next sentence could make this stop much worse. Have you ever talked too much during a stop? Yes or no? Most drivers think the real danger is the ticket. A lot of the danger starts before that. It starts the second you speak. It starts when fear takes over your mouth. Here is what most people do wrong. They think that talking more makes them look better. They think a long answer sounds honest. They think filling the silence will calm the officer down. Most of the time, it does the opposite. It gives away control fast. You get pulled over. Your brain starts racing. You wonder what the officer saw. You wonder if you missed a sign. You wonder if your insurance card is in the right place. Then the officer walks up. And now you feel like you need to say something smart. This is exactly where things fall apart. You start guessing, explaining, apologizing, and talking in circles. You say, maybe I was going a little fast. You say, I was only looking at my phone for a second. You say, I did not see the sign. You say, I am just trying to get home. Those words may feel harmless. They are not always harmless. They can make you sound unsure. They can make you sound careless. They can even sound like you are admitting something. Most drivers have no idea this is even a thing. They think being nice means saying everything. Being nice is good. Saying everything is not. The goal is not to act tough. The goal is not to win an argument. The goal is to stay calm. The goal is to keep the stop from getting worse. That means shorter answers. That means fewer guesses. That means knowing what to say before fear picks the words for you, and fear picks bad words. I have studied real traffic stop situations from body cam footage, court records, and real driver encounters. I've gone through hundreds of stop videos and seen the same mistake happen again and again. Regular drivers talk too much, guess too much, and hand away control without knowing it. Once you see the pattern, you cannot unsee it. Here's the first move. I call it the safe start. This solves the first burst of panic. That is the moment when your brain wants to talk fast and explain everything. Most drivers begin the stop in a weak position. They sound rushed, scared, and eager to defend themselves. Say exactly this. Officer, I want to cooperate, and I want to keep my answers short. This works because it does two things at once. It sounds respectful, and it quietly sets a limit. A limit is a line. It tells the officer you are not there to argue, but you're not there to ramble. That matters more than most people think. The first few seconds shape the whole stop. If your tone sounds wild, the stop can feel tense right away. If your tone sounds steady, the stop often stays calmer. That does not mean everything becomes easy. It means you do not make things worse with your own mouth. A lot of drivers start the stop with panic talk. They say things like, I know, I was probably speeding. Or they say, I am sorry, I am just late, I was not paying attention. Listen to how bad that sounds. You have already made yourself look guilty, distracted, or reckless. You did not need to do that. You just felt pressure and filled the air. That is what fear does. It hates silence, but silence can help you. Short words can help you even more. This line gives your brain a job. It keeps you from blurting out whatever fear wants to say. It also sounds mature. It sounds like someone who is not trying to fight. That matters because traffic stops are stressful for both sides. The officer is watching your tone, your face, and your hands. If you sound sharp or wild, things can turn tense. If you sound clear and simple, you lower that risk. Now let me be clear. This line is not magic. It will not make a ticket vanish. It will not guarantee a perfect stop. What it does is protect you from the most common early mistake. That mistake is talking before thinking. Think about how many times people get nervous and over-explain. It happens in school, at work, and with family. But during a stop, the stakes are higher. Your words matter more. You're not chatting with a neighbor. You are in a serious moment. That is why this line matters. It slows your brain down. After you say it, stop for a second. Take one breath. Let the officer speak next. Let them ask the question. You do not need to race to prove you are harmless. You need to act calm enough to stay clear. A lot of viewers hear this line and think it sounds too simple. That is exactly why it works. Simple survives pressure. Fancy falls apart. When people panic, they cannot remember long speeches. They can remember one clean sentence. And that one sentence can stop 5 bad ones from coming out next. That is a huge win. Picture the stop this way. The red lights are on. Your heart is loud. The officer walks up and says, "Good evening. Now you have a choice. You can spill fear all over the stop, or you can use one clean line and reset the tone. That is why I call it the safe start. It creates space. Space gives you control. Space gives you time. It keeps the stop from starting with an unforced error. An unforced error means you hurt yourself for no reason. Most drivers do this by accident. They are not trying to make the stop worse. They just do not know how fast words can get ahead of them. You do now. There's another reason this line works. It makes your intent clear. Your intent means what you are trying to do. Here, your intent is simple. You are showing respect. You are also showing care with your words. That is a smart mix. It keeps you from looking combative, and it keeps you from sounding reckless. And once you say it, live up to it. Keep your answers short. If the officer asks for your license, hand over your license. If the officer asks a question, answer only that question. Do not volunteer a backstory. Do not fill the silence because it feels weird. Silence is not your enemy here. Loose words are. Some drivers think a short answer makes them look suspicious. Not always. A short, calm answer often makes you look controlled. Control beats panic every time. You're not there to entertain. You're not there to impress. You're there to get through the stop with as little damage as possible. That is what smart drivers do. This line helps you start strong. And when the start is cleaner, the rest often gets easier. Calm words change the whole mood. Now this next one is where most people completely fall apart. I call it the no-guess rule. This solves one of the most common trap questions. That is when the officer asks if you know why you were stopped. Many drivers think this is just small talk. It often is not. The officer may already know what they want to say, but your guess can still hurt you. Say exactly this. I do not want to guess, officer. This works because it keeps you from handing over an admission. An admission is when your own words make you look guilty. That is a big deal. A guess can sound like a confession later. Think about what nervous drivers say here. They say maybe I was speeding a little. They say maybe I rolled that stop sign. They say maybe my light is out. That sounds harmless in the moment, but it can sound very different later. You are not required to solve the stop. You're not required to guess the reason, and guessing is risky because your guess may be wrong. And let's say you were pulled over for a tag issue, but you guessed that maybe you were speeding. Now you have said you might have been speeding, or maybe you were stopped for a light, but say you were on your phone. That is why this line is so useful. It protects you from your own nervous imagination and keeps you grounded. It says, I will not guess. I will not do free work against myself. Careful wins during traffic stops. The beauty of this line is how neutral it sounds. It simply closes the door on guesswork. A short answer creates fewer openings. When you guess, you show panic. You show you may keep talking if pushed. You want the stop to feel narrow and clean. If the officer wants to tell you the reason, let them. Knowing something in your head is different from saying it on camera. Discipline means control under pressure. What to say without making things worse. Sometimes the best answer is refusing to guess. It keeps your voice simple. Simple sounds better than defensive. When people get defensive, they start adding excuses and trouble. Let me show you how it sounds. The officer asks why I stopped you. You answer, I do not want to guess, officer. Then you stop. Just the line, then quiet. That quiet is control. Honesty does not require guessing or self-harm. Your goal is to answer without feeding the stop. You do not need to add more pressure with loose words. Short phrases help you stay inside the lane. Traffic stop questions are moments that need control, not life stories. This line is easy to remember and can stop a common mistake. Do not guess your way into trouble. Are you starting to see how much safer short answers are? Now let's get into the next move, the clear hands line. This solves the danger of silent movement. A lot of stops get tense when the driver starts reaching without warning. Let's lock this in while it is fresh. First, use the safe start and say you want to cooperate while keeping your answers short, because that stops panic from running the first minute. Next, use the no guess rule and refuse to guess why you were stopped, because guessing can sound like an admission you never needed to make. Then use the clear hands line before reaching for anything, because slow and explained movement keeps the stop calmer and safer. After that, use the quiet boundary when the questions spread, because staying silent can protect you from turning a simple stop into a bigger mess. Then use the consent stopper, so you do not hand over permission to search your car just because pressure made you nervous. Finally, use the exit check to find out if the stop is over and leave without reopening the whole thing. You now know something that most drivers will never know. You're not helpless in that situation anymore. You have simple lines, a calmer plan, and a better way through the pressure. Here is your challenge. The next time you get stopped, use at least one of these lines, then come back and tell me what changed. Stay calm, speak small, protect your road.